lovely friend, welcome back to the forest. I know this is an unusual time that I'm uploading on Thursdays. That is not my usual time. This is gonna be kind of like a bonus video because in the next couple of months I will upload my pilgrim's journey every Sunday. And I mean, that was a long journey, so it probably will take until May until I've uploaded all of them. But in the meantime, I sometimes want to add a new and current video like today. And it's actually because I'm going back on my weight loss journey, and we've actually been here last time when I was quitting No BS weight loss. That program didn't work for me, so I decided to quit, and I remember taking you with me on this trail, so it's kind of fun to be back here like a year later. By the way, this is the sunset we're working with. I left work a little bit earlier today, so I was able to walk in the forest before it gets really dark. I mean, soon we have the time change, and it got pretty cold. Like, we have now like 1, 2, 3 degrees Celsius during the day, so it gets a bit cold now. But and I think this trail will soon be too well, maybe it's frozen, but I think still it won't be so fun to walk this way here, so it's probably my last time walking it for this season, so I'm happy you're joining. I think my biggest problem with, well, there were several ones with No BS, was first of all the 24-hour plan, which I realized does just feel too diety. The idea is that you plan your food 24 hours or like in the evening before, and then you have to keep your plan. And it is a tool so that you don't eat something that isn't on your plan, so that you plan for yourself in a better state, for example in the evening, where you have like the best intentions for yourself. But first of all, it just felt very diety. It is really hard when you go off the plan, and I realized there were so many often times where I went off the plan, and you just feel so bad when you don't follow it. And she teaches to just take it as data, but I find that really hard. When you're supposed to follow your plan and then you don't, and then you should just use that as a data. And then the second thing was, I didn't like how she treated some of her customers. I'm talking about Corinne Crabtree, who is the owner of the No BS weight loss program. I just didn't like how she sometimes just was, like, not just sometimes, but screaming a lot. Now I've done a lot of like work in attachment theory, and I sometimes wonder if she'd maybe re-traumatize some of the people there. And I just feel like a lot of them would have needed a lot of compassion, kindness, understanding, instead of like, yeah, you just have to change your thoughts. And nobody can stop you, and it doesn't matter that your husband doesn't support you. Obviously it does. We're so connected to other people. It does make an impact if you have people around you that makes it hard to, for example, lose weight. Yeah, and that was kind of the reason why I decided to stop No BS. So last year I kind of ended my weight loss journey thinking that there might be something more that I haven't really figured out yet. I mean, my biggest struggle is overeating. Obviously I could eat a bit more healthy, but I would say the biggest reason why I gained weight was because I was overeating. And so I embarked on a journey on the personal development school to become a more securely attached person. I have a video about my attachment style, fearful avoidant attachment style. I can link it up in the cards. And it definitely was an amazing year, learning so much about it, learning to realizing what kind of needs I have, learning to set boundaries, learning what kind of people are actually good for me, and also saying goodbye to some people who I realized it was just not a good idea to keep them in my life, and also practicing to choose the people who choose you, spending a lot of time with them instead of running after people who don't show that. And I also went into intuitive eating, which really made me realize most of the problems that they talk about intuitive eating, I don't have a problem with, like the food police that, I mean, I can eat whatever I want, I know that, and I don't forbid myself anything. But I see the overeating, especially when watching TV, but not always as well. So I just didn't feel like intuitive eating was the answer. And that seems like a pattern. Always try something and realizing, nah, that's not it. Something else. It's something else. Actually, I have to say, on the pilgrimage, I really realized that I have grown so much in that year, how much has changed, how much learnings have kind of like been integrated. And then I think I saw on Instagram somebody like having a post saying, do you have troubles losing weight? It might be because you have trauma in your hips. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? That sounded so bizarre. I'm like, no. What are you talking about? But then, I don't remember how, I ended up reading more about the nervous system and how a lot of people stay in kind of like a either fight, flight or freeze mode the whole time, and how that impacts your whole body, how much it can store trauma in your body, how it can, if you feel like there's anxiety all the time, how that can increase cholesterol levels. And I just started researching more about it. And I realized that I have so much more anxiety that I wasn't even aware of. Because I mean, I don't have like social anxiety. I don't have problems like meeting anybody usually. But I worry all the time. I realized how much I'm actually all the time kind of like feeling anxious, feeling like vibration in my body. And I mean, this year was extremely tough because there are 3 people in my life, close people, who have either threatened committing suicide, thinking about death, or risking to die very soon. I don't know if you say that way, but it was just a lot. And it definitely made me kind of like sometimes not being able to function properly. So that is kind of like one thing that I wanted to address as well. All of that made me realize how much I'm kind of like in the freeze or flight mode all the time. And yeah, that was interesting to realize. And since then I have done 2 things. One is the NeuroFit app that measures your heart frequency every day, and then also lets you check in for certain feelings and certain areas to find out if you're in a sympathetic or in a parasympathetic state. And then they recommend different exercises. Usually it's one exercise for like 2 or 3 minutes. Some of them are really funny. They feel a bit ridiculous when I do them in the morning, but I definitely see a change from that, just from that. And then like around 2 weeks ago, a little bit more, I started the 21-day Calm Your Nervous System challenge. And it's like an exercise every day. Again, they don't take a long time, but I see a change. I definitely see me not overeating that much anymore. Can watch TV without having these urges. And yeah, we'll have to see how it kind of gonna continues. And during the past weeks, I also learned how much clutter and like all kind of digital input clutter has so much effect on your nervous state. And so I, at the moment, practice a lot tidying up my kitchen every day, which is really hard. Which I said is very normal. When you're a lot in the freeze, fight or flight mode, just very mundane, normal tasks can feel very daunting. Also realized like watching the news, or for me it's mostly reading the news on the websites, awful. I mean, there's mostly only negative things, and they're so anxiety inducing that I've now blocked all of them. So I usually block them on my laptop during the whole day, and then I have completely blocked them in my browser on my iPhone. And in addition, I also block Instagram and YouTube. I mean, YouTube is usually not that bad. The shorts are the ones that, I mean, they don't give you anything except for like a dopamine hit, but then you don't remember anything from what you've just watched. And just by doing these things and having like moving my body every day, but not doing like super hard workouts anymore. Oh, you maybe want to see a bit of the view. There you go. Yeah, just doing not like high intensity interval training, just doing like, for example, Grow with Joe, who has really nice walking videos, going for walks, like today going for a hike, not listening to anything, just being here in the forest with yourself and your thoughts. That is really good for me. I definitely see that. Now when it comes to my weight loss journey, I take it a bit slower. I'm definitely annoyed by having gained some weight back, but I also see that I had way too high expectations. Then I have to give myself grace and take it slower. My friend Melina has lost, I don't know how many kilograms she has lost so far, but I guess it's like something like 12-15 kilograms. And she does it very slowly, like she's losing 1 kilogram per month. And I think that is a very attainable goal. So that's something I'm gonna do as well. Just having a goal of like losing 2 pounds per month. And that means it will take a while, but I mean, it's not really a problem. So I will again take you with me on my weight loss journey. I will definitely also show you the tools I'm using. But I think it will be less about like what I'm planning or what I'm eating, and a bit more about what doing with the rest of my life. Do you have clean spaces at home? Do you do something here outside, being active, meeting people? Or am I at home watching Taskmaster and eating potato chips? That is kind of like, and yeah, scrolling through Instagram, watching thousands of reels, which you don't remember any of them when you're done. And I mean, I took you with me on the first part of my weight loss journey, and so I think I just want to take you with me again. And I also want to kind of continue this project here on YouTube, because don't you hate these books where people say, talking about a client or a friend or anybody and saying, oh, he just learned to write down 3 things he's grateful every day and then he lost 20 pounds. And you're just like, what the fuck? I mean, he probably had setbacks. How did he do it? And I feel like I had a major setback at the same time I have learned a lot of new things, which I integrate in my weight loss journey. And there is definitely a part of me that feels a bit like a failure because I've gained weight, and I think it's a very normal thing, feeling a bit ashamed for not reaching the goals you wanted to, especially not in the time frame I wanted to. But I mean, weight loss is a super hard thing. There are actually not a lot of percentage that actually manage to lose weight and keep it off. So it's really important for me to do changes gradually, and changes that I can think of living for the rest of my life, and not just doing the changes because it might give me faster results, but then I just can't work with it. And I think my body and my mind will show me the path. So thank you for joining today, and I will upload sometimes here on Thursdays. and I want to give you an update. And I probably will do what I eat in a day again, because I find them very fascinating to see how eating behaviors change and what I think around it and what I've learned. And I hope you enjoy it as well, and have a wonderful Thursday, and I see you on Sunday again.